If you get headaches after a long day on a laptop or phone, you're not imagining it. Screen time can trigger real, predictable stress in your eyes, neck, and nervous system. The good news is that most of the common triggers are also easy to adjust. In this video, you'll learn why screens can set headaches off and how to build a simple relief setup you can repeat every day. We'll cover eye strain, posture, lighting, and a few settings that quietly make a big difference. We'll also talk about when a headache pattern is a red flag, because sometimes the best fix is knowing when to get checked. Think of this as a practical checklist, not a miracle solution. You'll pick one or two changes first, then stack the rest over time. By the end, you'll have a clear plan for reducing screen-triggered headaches without guessing. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 2. Let's start with what screen headache usually means. Most people are describing one of three patterns. First is a tension-type headache, often felt like a band or pressure, linked to neck and scalp muscle load. Second is a migraine pattern, where light sensitivity, nausea, or one-sided throbbing can show up, and screens act like a trigger. Third is eye strain discomfort, where the ache sits behind the eyes or in the forehead. These can overlap, which is why it feels confusing. A screen itself isn't toxic. It's the combination of near focus, reduced blinking, bright or flickering light, and a posture that quietly tightens your upper body. Add stress, dehydration, or poor sleep, and your threshold drops. So the goal is not to eliminate screens. It's to raise your threshold and lower the load. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 3. One of the biggest drivers is something called accommodative stress. Your eyes have to focus up close for long stretches, and that focusing system is a muscle-driven process. When you stay at one distance for hours, the system gets fatigued, and your brain interprets that as discomfort. At the same time, your eyes have to converge, meaning both eyes aim inward to hit the same near point. If your alignment is slightly off, your eye muscles work harder to keep a single image. That extra effort can feel like pressure in the brow or behind the eyes. This is also why tiny text and constant switching between tabs can feel worse than watching a single video. You're forcing repeated refocus and micro adjustments. Relief here is about changing distance, text size, and how often you let your eyes relax. Moving to slide 4. Another quiet trigger is dry eye from reduced blinking. When you concentrate, your blink rate can drop a lot. Blinking spreads tears across the surface of the eye, and that tear layer is what keeps vision clear and comfortable. When it breaks up, your eyes can burn, water, or feel gritty, and you squint without noticing, and that pulls on muscles around the eyes and forehead. Over time, that can feed a headache pattern. Contact lenses, air conditioning, and heating can make this worse. So can staring slightly upward at a high monitor, because your eyelids open wider and expose more surface area. The fix is surprisingly basic. Blink more, lower the screen a bit, and use breaks that fully reset your eyes. If dryness is persistent, an eye professional can help identify the cause. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 5. Now let's talk about light, because brightness is not the same as comfort. If your screen is much brighter than the room, your pupils keep adjusting, and that can feel tiring. If the room is bright but the screen is dim, you may strain to see details. Glare is another issue. A window or overhead light reflecting off the screen forces your visual system to fight for contrast. Some people are also sensitive to screen flicker, which can come from certain brightness settings or certain types of lighting in the room. You don't need to obsess over it. Just aim for balance. Match screen brightness to the room, reduce glare, and use steady, indirect lighting. Comfort is the metric, not maximum brightness. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 6. A lot of screen headaches are actually neck headaches that start at your desk. When your head drifts forward, the load on your neck increases fast. Your upper traps and the small muscles at the base of your skull have to hold that weight for hours. Those muscles can refer pain into the temples, behind the eyes, or the top of the head. That's why the headache can feel like it's in your face, even though the source is your neck. The simplest setup change is monitor height and distance. You want the screen roughly an arm's length away, and the top third of the screen around eye level, so you're not constantly craning. Then bring the keyboard and mouse close enough that your elbows can rest near your sides. Small geometry changes can reduce a lot of muscle load. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 7. Here's a practical relief setup you can build in 5 minutes. First, set text size so you can read without leaning in. If you catch yourself jutting your chin forward, the text is too small or the screen is too far. Second, place the screen so your gaze is slightly downward, not up. Third, match brightness to the room and avoid sitting with a bright window directly behind the screen. Fourth, choose one break rule you'll actually follow. A simple version is, every 20 minutes, look far away for 20 seconds and blink slowly a few times. Finally, keep water nearby and take a few sips during breaks. Hydration won't solve headaches, but it can lower one common contributor. This setup is about reducing triggers you can control. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 8. Now let's fine-tune the device settings that matter most. Start with brightness and auto brightness. Many people do better when brightness is stable, not constantly shifting. Next is color temperature. Warmer tones can feel gentler in the evening, but the key is comfort and readability, not a magic filter. Increase contrast carefully so you're not squinting. Then, check refresh rate if your device allows it. Higher refresh rates can be smoother for some people, especially during scrolling. Also consider reducing motion effects where possible, because constant animations can add subtle visual load. Finally, keep your prescription up to date. Even a small uncorrected vision issue can turn screen work into a headache generator. If you suspect that, an eye exam is a high-value step. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 9. Breaks only work if they actually change what your body is doing, so make them specific. For your eyes, the goal is distance focus. Look at something across the room or out a window and let your face relax. For your neck, the goal is to unload the same muscles. Do a gentle reset. Drop your shoulders, lengthen the back of your neck, and turn your head slowly left and right. No forcing, no stretching into pain. For your hands, open and close your fists a few times to reduce tension that can creep up into the forearms and shoulders. And if you're on calls all day, consider using audio only at times, because staring at faces in little boxes can lock your gaze and posture. The good break is short, but it changes your position and focus. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 10. If you're prone to migraine-like headaches, screens can be one trigger among many. The pattern is often about thresholds. Poor sleep, skipped meals, stress, dehydration, and hormonal shifts can lower your tolerance, and then the screen pushes you over the edge. In that case, the setup still helps, but you also want steadier routines. Eat at consistent times when you can. Keep caffeine consistent rather than swinging up and down. Use lighting that's even and not harsh, and be careful with intense visual environments, like rapid scrolling in low light, because that combination can be provocative for some people. If you notice aura, significant nausea, or strong light sensitivity, that's a clue you may be dealing with a migraine pattern and should discuss it with a clinician. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 11. Let's cover a few red flags because not every headache should be self-managed. Seek medical care urgently if a headache is sudden and severe, or if it's the worst headache you've ever had. Also get checked if you have weakness, confusion, fainting, fever with stiff neck, new vision loss, or new speech problems. More commonly, you should book a routine appointment if headaches are becoming more frequent, if you're waking up with headaches, or if they're changing in character. And if screen time reliably triggers pain behind one eye, with eye redness or halos around lights, that deserves prompt evaluation. Most screen-related headaches are not dangerous, but patterns matter. It's smart to treat your setup and your symptoms as useful information, not something to push through. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 12. Here's how to put everything into a simple 2-week plan. For days 1 to 3, only change your screen geometry, distance, height, and text size. For days 4 to 7, fix lighting and glare, and choose one brightness approach that feels stable. For week 2, add structured breaks and track what happens. Keep it simple. Note the time your headache starts, what you are doing, and what helped. You're looking for patterns, not perfection. If symptoms improve, you've identified a controllable trigger. If nothing changes, that's also useful because it points you toward vision checks, stress load, sleep issues, or a migraine pattern that needs professional input. And remember, the goal is fewer headaches and faster recovery, not a flawless workspace. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Moving to slide 13. Let's wrap this up into one checklist you can remember. Screens can trigger headaches through eye-focusing fatigue, dry eye from low blinking, lighting mismatch, and neck strain from posture. Relief comes from reducing those loads in a repeatable way. Bigger text, better distance, balanced light, fewer reflections, and breaks that actually reset your eyes and neck. If you want one starting point, pick the change that feels most obvious for you, and do it consistently for a week. If this was helpful, subscribe for more practical, evidence-informed comfort and health setups. And for a quick check-in, comment with A or B. Do your headaches feel more like eye pressure or more like neck and shoulder tension? This information is not a substitute for medical advice.